Hi, everybody. Welcome to Doc's Daily. It is Wednesday, February 5th, and big news just came out. We just were talking about it, so we'll bring you right in before we get to it. NBA big trade news. But don't forget, Monday through Friday, live 1 to 1:30-ish. I mean, some days we go a little shorter, a little longer, but it's usually about 30 minutes every day. We'll give you some free picks in NBA, college basketball, NHL, and tomorrow we'll be talking a little Super Bowl. We'll have on Robert Ferrigno tomorrow and Friday, actually. So don't forget, get that free $60. Go to DocSports.com/free60. That any new customer gets free $60 to use as you want. It's $30 per pick or $99 per sport per week. So that you can use that in addition to some extra dollars to get a week, or just get those individual picks. I do have a 5-unit play in college basketball. Nick, what do you have tonight as far as top plays?
Yeah, I got a big college basketball card. We got 10 units total. I have a 7-unit and a 3-unit. The 7-unit goes off at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're locked and loaded in college basketball, ladies and gentlemen. In my last 28 plays, we're 22-6. Make sure to go on over to DocSports.com and check out today's best bets.
All right, Griff, what do you have tonight?
Yeah, man, I'm locked and loaded. So I'm on soccer. I have a 7-unit best bet. That play goes off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm 12-7 in my last 19 selections, so we are playing pretty premium there on that side of things. And when it comes to NBA, I've been absolutely slaughtering my selections. I'm 24-12 in my last 36 for $7,335 profit. 13-3 in my last 16 plays, graded 6.0 plus. And when it comes to my play 7.0 plus, I'm on an $8,340 run. Tonight, NBA, 7-unit best bet. That play goes off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I am locked in, ready to go. I've got 2 7-units out. College basketball, I have a 3-play card, 9 units included. It's 3 units, 3 units, and 3 units. All premium selections. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out my bio. We have a full slate of plays. And Craig, I am ready to go.
All right, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the stuff we do here at the channel. And let's get right to it. Let's talk NBA. Big news. Milwaukee Bucks pull the trade. They've been talking about it all week. Kuzma from Washington goes for Middleton, pretty much straight up. A couple other players, but no one as of note. I think it definitely helps the Bucks, because Middleton, with his ankle and knees the last few years, just hasn't been very dependable, and he hasn't really given them much. He's had a couple 20-point outings, but more often than not, it's goose eggs. And it also brought them below that threshold, so they now can make bigger trades if they want, not only this season but in the offseason. It brings them out of that tax threshold. So big news from Milwaukee. Even if you don't think Kuzma is a huge upgrade, his availability at least will be a huge upgrade. But if you don't think as far as performance, that ability to make bigger trades, including Jimmy Butler, potentially is still out there. I think it's something to note. Obviously, the big news yesterday was that Kevin Durant is available. It's going to take something special. Also, it sounds like Draymond Green is available as well. So some big names out there to be had, including, of course, Jimmy Butler. So, all right, let's talk NBA as far as free picks, guys. Griffin, why don't you kick us off? Yesterday, I think we split with our NBA free picks. I think we went 2-2, but let's sweep the board tonight here.
Yep, I'm coming right in hot. We cashed our free play yesterday, and I'm going right back to it. So I've got Cleveland at Detroit in tonight's matchup, Nick. And Cleveland right now, they're coming off back-to-back games, and you know me. I am never afraid to take a team going off back-to-backs. Boston last night, they beat Cleveland in a 112-105 final. Cleveland is now 6-4 in their last 10 games. But prior to Boston, Cleveland absolutely thrashed Dallas in a 144-101 final. The Herd tonight, they're going to be all over Detroit in this game, considering the fact that Cleveland just finished up a 3-game homestand, and now they're playing back-to-backs again, and this one is on the road. Detroit, they were really pumping, but right now they're starting to cool off. They're just 4-6 in their last 10 games, and they just got beat down by Atlanta at home on Monday. Cleveland, in my eyes, guys, as I mentioned, they're never a team who concerns me playing back-to-back. They're first in the NBA across offensive ratings, and they're filled with depth across the boards. I think Cleveland dominates this matchup, and I also love the fact that their defense, has just been stout all season long, and they're too efficient. Detroit, on the other hand, just not getting it done offensively as of late. I have no issue with back-to-backs because Cleveland is a team that continuously can put up numbers. I will lay the 6.5 points here tonight with Cleveland on the road over the Detroit Pistons in this matchup, Craig.
Obviously, Cade Cunningham having that all-star season, well-deserved. That I like to see these new young faces get into the all-star game. And Detroit has basically changed their whole franchise this year.
Yeah.
I mean, last year they had that huge losing streak, longest in the NBA history. And this year they're fighting for a playoff spot. So it's good to see. But I think that allows us to get better numbers like this one. I mean, last year, this line would have been, even in a back-to-back spot, would have been 10, 11, 12 points. So because Detroit has been able to beat good teams this year, now it's a team. I basically couldn't bet them last year. I mean, that was like a no-bueno team because the lines are just so freaking large. I just don't like laying double digits. So I see where you get the value here. Cleveland would like to go into the break, on a positive thing. They do have 3 All-Stars as well, and I think they'll have a good game here. It's going to come right down to the wire because it always does in the NBA. But Nick, let's try to make one that maybe won't come down to the wire. Do you have maybe a blowout winner for us?
I'm hoping so. We got Golden State Warriors going to Utah here. The current line is Golden State -6.5. Golden State just picked up a win at home against the Orlando Magic on Monday, 104-99. The Jazz just dropping their last game to the Pacers by a score of 112-111 there. Curry's coming in averaging still 22.1 points per game on the season, but a key player I want to stand out here tonight for Golden State is going to be Andrew Wiggins. I think he plays a big role in this game tonight with Curry. The Warriors, they have won and covered 3 out of their last 4 games. The Jazz, on the other hand, they're 1-9 in their last 10 games. They're 4-18 at home. These two just played each other in Golden State, and Golden State Warriors won by 11. I'm expecting another blowout here by the Golden State Warriors tonight. I would lay the points -6.5 with the Golden State Warriors over the Utah Jazz here tonight, Craig.
Be careful in this one tonight. Maybe wait right until game time because, like we said earlier, Golden State is super active in the trade, both trade and way and receiving talent. It sounds like Draymond Green, Kuminga, and Andrew Wiggins, all 3 like in the mix as far as they're trying to add another superstar along obviously you're at the age where he's still playing, Curry's still playing at the all-star level. He can't just do it every night. Right now it's all on him, and I'm interested to see how this turns out the next 24 hours. So wait until game time just to make sure none of these guys end up in a trade. My free play tonight, we're going to see one of those, and I love these matchups. We used to see back-to-back games in the same arena. Now we see those back-to-back with a day in between in the NBA often. And Pelicans at the Nuggets tonight. Nuggets dismantled them on Monday. But, if you watch the game, which I did because I had a player prop on Jokic over, and he missed it by a half. Over points and I think assists, and he missed it by a half. He didn't get one in the last 4 minutes because it was out of hand. I like Pelicans here. When you look at the individual talent on the Pelicans, they stand up with anybody in the NBA when healthy. Obviously, health has been a major reason why they're not good this year, but they've stepped up when they're healthy like they are now and beat the best teams in the NBA. I don't know if they win outright, but I think they play with a little pride here. And most of these guys are playing for maybe a trade here. So make sure also this one, wait until game time because pretty much everybody on the Pelicans is available. Like the water boy, the coach, the athletic trainers, they're all available via trade. They just want to try to acquire assets for the future. But I do think the Pelicans, if they don't trade anybody, I like them +10.5 in this one in the NBA. Now, there's one game I want to get your guys' opinion on. It might be one of your premium plays. If not, we'll have somebody else. When you look at this Memphis and Toronto game, pretty interesting game. Toronto, I lost on them yesterday. Push. A lot of people got to push. I lost because I got them in early at 4.5. They end up winning by 6. Toronto had it down to 3 with 30 seconds, and then Jalen Brunson hits one of his classic, dagger threes. But they have been money. I think like 8 of the last 9 games they've covered and winning outright as underdogs. Them and the Blazers are the hottest team as far as betting. And then you get a team like the Grizzlies that are also playing amazing. Nick, I don't know if you have a top play on this, Nick, but do you have an opinion in this one? Because this one, you can make an argument either way, I think, which is the games I love to bet and talk about.
I do have a top play, a premium selection, so I'll pass this one over to Griff here.
Unfortunately, Nick, I have a top play on this one as well. This
Well,
is my
let's hope
7-minute banger tonight, Craig.
Let's hope you're not on the opposite. Okay. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then you guys just nod ahead or.
I'm going to keep a straight face here.
I like to come back on a when a team that I bet on, like the Raptors yesterday, and I lose. And the theory is very similar to last night's game, the Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks were the one in the back-to-back last night. So some of that was the Knicks in a back-to-back. I thought there'd be a little letdown. But the Raptors are just playing good basketball. And it's not like just because you're in a back-to-back, you just all of a sudden quit knowing how to play good basketball. And really the injuries were the issues early in the year. So when you look at the records, especially against the spread, you kind of put that away. Like, really, they've only been healthy the last couple of weeks, and look what they've done. To me, I'm coming back with the Raptors again tonight, +10. Memphis probably wins the game. I mean, Memphis is, if not the best team right now playing in the NBA, they're a top 3. They're just taking care of business. And it doesn't matter. John Morant's missed a ton of games. They've played great basketball. I still think they can't cover a big number. And Toronto is the toughest place in the NBA to play outside of Denver. Denver, obviously, everybody talks about it because of the mile high air, but nobody likes to go to Toronto. It's hard to get there. It's, I think it's a fun city, but it's not like the time they get there that's going to be able to do anything. I'm going to fade the Grizzlies tonight, even though I've made a lot of money with them lately. I'm going to take the Raptors. So, all right, let's talk college basketball. Big night in college basketball last night. I don't know if people stayed up late. The Arizona BYU game, fun game to watch in Arizona. I kind of wrote them off early in the year. I think what were they, 4-5 or 5-4. Since then, they're tied for the lead in the Big 12 with Houston. And that was a good win. Winning at BYU is a big win. And Robert Frigno liked BYU last night, and I was with him. I was his 8-unit player.
I was on BYU.
I didn't give him out officially. I had the over actually, but in it cash. But that was a great win. And today, maybe you don't have those games out there. But Griffin, is there a gym that you like in college basketball tonight? There's a lot of what I call the under the radar type games tonight.
Yeah, sure, Craig. Absolutely. I think this is a really good game. And I've got Missouri at Tennessee right now. And Tennessee, I mean, this team, they've been put through the absolute meat grinder, man, in their last 3 games. They've had to deal with Auburn on the road, Kentucky, and Florida. The biggest situational factor for me that I'm looking at with Tennessee down the road is spot plays. This team has proved when bouncing around, they're inconsistent, man. Going to Vandy, back home, then on the road, then back home. They went 2-2 in their last 4 games during this pattern. So this is something to keep in mind going down the road into the season as we head into March Madness. Now, with that being said, we can expect a very comfortable Tennessee team in tonight's matchup. They just throttled through Florida, and now they're entering game 3 of their 3-game homestand. So they're going to be comfortable tonight. This is a must-win game for Tennessee as well. I think they're going to kill Missouri on the boards, and I just don't see how Missouri's offense is going to stick it to them when they're just a much better shooting team from the field. So give me Tennessee here. I'm comfortable laying the 9.5, nearly double digits in this matchup. I think Tennessee absolutely rolls them at home in this matchup, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee is one of those teams, like their schedule. I mean, all the SEC teams, the schedules are crazy.
Ridiculous.
Because, I mean, you have it seems like half the teams are in the top 25 or have been in the top 25. So they really don't have any bad losses. I mean, they only have good losses, which I think is going to bode well for them come the NCAA tournament once they get outside of conference. Nick, anything you like here as a free play tonight?
Yeah, let's go back. Actually, we were 2-0 yesterday on the Docs Daily. We had Michigan State +3.5. They lost actually by 2 against UCLA. And I told you guys to take Northwestern money line over USC in that one. They ended up winning that game by 2. So let's make it 3 here today. We're going back to my alma mater in Virginia Tech, while SMU comes to Castle Coliseum in Blacksburg here. SMU is 4th in the ACC, 17-5 on the season. Virginia Tech, they're 9th in the ACC, 10-12. Virginia Tech just picked up 2 big conference road game winners against Florida State and against Virginia. Now they get SMU. SMU has been on a 3-game winning streak here, just beating Stanford 85-61. SMU's never played in Castle Coliseum here. And it is going to be rocking here tonight when Virginia Tech has to step up to competition like Duke, like North Carolina. They always compete in those type of games, especially at home. This game is no different. SMU is the real deal in the ACC this year. They're fast, they move in transition well, and they score a lot of points. But if Virginia Tech smacks their threes tonight, this game is going to be a lot closer than people expect. I'm taking the Hammer and Hokies here to cover tonight in Castle +6 over SMU here tonight, Craig.
That's a nice little hidden gem. I have a little hidden gem as well in the ACC as well. Louisville might be the best news in college basketball this year. And Pat Kelsey was my nemesis. He graduated same year as me, went to a different Catholic school. I was in the lower state championship. He was in the higher state championship. We played against each other since like third grade. And this dude is a ultra competitor. And it has shown everywhere he's been. When he was at Xavier as a player, as an assistant coach, Winthrop, College of Charleston, and now at Louisville. I mean, he is the real deal. He's turned this thing around. Hepburn coming over from Wisconsin's been an absolute godsend for them at the point guard spot. But I think it's getting a little out of hand here. 13.5 points on the road. This is a BC team that just beat, Florida State's not as good as Louisville, but they beat Florida State. They almost beat UNC 102-96 at UNC. I think either one of those performances and covers will get us a cover tonight. And I think Louisville wins, but I think BC covers the big number here. I just think Louisville, they've gotten a lot done with a lot of transfers, but it's not like they have superior. It isn't Duke talent. I mean, they're getting it done with great play, great team play, but I don't think their talent level is 13.5-point favorite, even though I do like Coach Pat Kelsey and what he's done this year. Let's take Boston College plus the number. Now, guys, I want to ask your opinion on a big game tonight because I actually think this is a live underdog. Hopefully it's not one of your guys' college basketball plays. Illinois-Rutgers is 7.5. Rutgers has 2 lottery picks. Maybe not. I think Harper's coming out this year. He'll be top 5 pick. The other kid, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's going to be a lottery pick, if not this year, next year. And Illinois is playing great basketball. But to be favored by this number on the road in the Big Ten is a tough spot. I don't know who wants to take the first swing at this one. This smells like Rutgers is a live underdog here, and I mean outright underdog.
I would have to agree with you, Craig. I think it is too many points. This Illinois team, they're 3-3 on the road this year. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. And Rutgers, they're 8-3 at home. I could see an upset here. It's a hard place to travel to, especially going from Champaign to Rutgers. I would definitely take the points with Rutgers in this one, Craig.
Griffin, any opinion on this one?
I would be definitely looking at a totals play in this matchup. I mean, you got a Rutgers team that's sitting at 500 basketball playing. They're 11-11. You've got Illinois. They're really not steamrolling right now. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. They are coming off a victory with a point spread sitting at 7.5, and you're going on the road in a matchup like this. I'm definitely not laying the 7.5 with Illinois, and I'm not comfortable taking the points here with the Rutgers. And if Illinois does end up blowing them out, which in my opinion, I don't think that's going to be the case, that would immediately lead me to a totals play, which would put me into that under column. The current total is sitting at 156.5 points. I would be drilling the under in this matchup, as I don't think Illinois is going to throttle right through them. I think this is going to be a competitive game. It's going to go back and forth, which is going to deplete clock management. So in this one, Craig, give me the under 156.5 points in that one. Okay.
I have 3 late games. You guys choose from them because everybody knows you play the early games, you get up or whatever, and you want to watch, bet the late games. That's just the way it is in our industry. Everybody is the same boat. Obviously, sometimes that ends in the NBA. But if they want to stay in college basketball, there's 3 games tonight, all after 10:30 that I think are interesting. Nebraska -1.5 at Washington. NC State is the underdog by 2 at Cal. And then Wake's the underdog at Stanford by 3. Any of those 3 catch your eye, Griffin?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably be looking at this Nebraska game. Honestly, Nebraska right now rolling in 14-8 on the season. The team's playing better basketball. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games, but they did just beat Oregon on the road right now. So this team is coming in with a little bit of momentum. Offensively, they haven't been performing that stout, but their defense is where they can come into corners right now. So again, this would not be a side play for me. I'd be looking at another total because Washington, on the other hand, they don't play bad basketball at home. They're 8-5 at home. They do play push to shove. They have a very solid offense and defensive core. I like the total in this matchup. And again, I'm sticking with an under. We have 142.5 total right now. I would hit the under in this game, as I believe a Big Ten matchup. This game could go back and forth, and you never know what to expect from Nebraska. They come out guns blazing, or they come out and get absolutely stomped. Right now, they are on a 2-game winning streak, but as I mentioned, they're not carrying loads of momentum. Playing 4-6 in their last 10 games is looking over the overscope medium. So in this game, Greg, with all of that being said, this is a liability game in my eyes. There's not a side play to touch here. If I had to lean a side, I'd lean Washington, to be honest with you. But my free play in this game automatically catches my eyes and attention, Craig. 142.5 under points in this matchup.
Those late games scare me. I either love the over or I usually like underdogs in the late games. That's just my nature of handicapping. Doesn't mean you'd go that way all the time, but it's just that's, my natural tendency when I'm looking at these games. Like the BYU game last night, it went over pretty easily, in fact. Nick, is there one game of these three that you feel most comfortable with?
So actually 2 out of the 3 are going to be on my card, but that Wake Forest and the Stanford game, I must say there's something to take note on, as Wake Forest is coming all the way from the East Coast. And I believe this game starts at their time, 1 a.m. in the morning. So I would be very hesitant. And I think that Stanford, 2 o'clock in the morning, that's just you're going to get a team that is very tired and worn out. They're not used to this time zone. I would be all over Stanford at home in this matchup here tonight, Craig.
I like the spot.
Yeah. Cal has been pretty good at home this year, especially against these East Coast teams heading west. So that one kind of piques my head. And I like that Nebraska team. I like that Nebraska team. The win at Oregon, people don't realize Oregon is a ridiculously tough place to play. Always. Ridiculously tough. So that one, that was a quality win. Obviously, I think Illinois, they won last week. So I like Nebraska to keep it going here. So I would say Nebraska and Cal out of these, maybe a little parlay action late in these 2. All right, let's go to the ice. Ice baby, as they say.
Let's do it.
I was been pretty hot until yesterday. Nick maybe jinxed me. He took Dallas. I had Dallas on the 3-way, and then Nick gave him out as the puck line. I was like, oh, shit, I'm screwed now. But no, it was just one of those tough games. Dallas played good defense. Just like you said.
Craig, I was about to say, we had Winnipeg last night.
I was on Dallas puck line, and I loved them, man.
I don't know. And you said they have great defense, and they did. They only allowed 2 goals. So it's in the end, it's like in college basketball. If you allow under 70 points, you figure you're going to win most games. In the NHL, if you hold teams to 2 goals and below, you're probably winning 75% of the games. Just didn't happen. They lost 2-1 in that one. They tied it up late, early in the third quarter. I was like, okay, here we go. They're going to get a late goal. And then you never know. You get the empty goal let, and then you cover the puck line as well. All right, NHL free pick, though, for tonight. Small card tonight. So I say don't go crazy here. Nick, why don't you start us off? You're the
let's do it. There's, like you said, there's only 3 games on the card, and there's not a lot of value. I mean, a lot of teams are overpriced here. You look at Edmonton and the Chicago Blackhawks. Edmonton's coming in right now first in the Pacific, while the Blackhawks are 8th in the Central. The Oilers just won their last game last night against the St. Louis Blues 3-2. They are playing back-to-back games here. The Chicago Blackhawks on a 2-game losing streak. They just dropped to the Florida Panthers 5-1 on the road. The Blackhawks do play a little bit better, though, at home than they do on the road. Their home record this season is 10-14-2, while the Oilers on the road are 15-7-2. These 2 teams have split, though, in the series. They played each other twice here. The Blackhawks beat Edmonton in Edmonton 5-2 this season. Even though I would lean on the Chicago Blackhawks plus 1.5 here tonight, I think there's value on this over, because both times that these 2 teams played, they scored a combined 7 goals total. I think all the value in this game is on the over. The over-under sitting at 6 here. We would smack the over 6 in tonight's play in the Chicago Blackhawks and the Edmonton Oilers for tonight's free play here, Craig.
Is this I know you're a Chicago guy. Are you a Blackhawks guy as well? I know you're
Die
more
hard.
of a Bulls guy. You're okay.
Die hard. Patrick Kane, he just broke the record in shootout goals. He leads it, I believe, with 52. I had the Red Wings last night. We cashed in our 4 unit, and he had a nasty backhander in top shelf, right where Grandma hides the Thin Mints there.
Well, All right, it's been a rough year for you for Chicago sports.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Brutal.
Bears disappointment.
Nothing's new.
White
Yeah,
Sox,
Blackhawks,
Bears,
White Sox.
Blackhawks, Bulls. Give me a break.
Roller coaster ride.
Okay. Like you said, there's 3 games tonight, all 3 minus 200 or above. Is there one maybe you like in this spot, Griffin?
Yeah, absolutely, Craig. And this one's going to be Montreal at LA. This is going to be back-to-back games for Montreal. And they're going from one of the worst teams in the NHL, dealing with the San Jose Sharks, to now dealing with one of the best teams in the NHL with the LA Kings. The Kings at home this season are a stout 15-3-1. They're coming off a 4-2 road win over a very good Carolina team on Saturday. Los Angeles, they're coming into this game. They have rest advantage, home ice advantage, and a defense that's holding teams to just 2.5 goals per game, which ranks them top 5 in the NHL. I think Los Angeles absolutely explodes on the offensive side and beats down an exhausted Montreal club in tonight's matchup. So I like the LA Kings here on the puck line, and we're getting plus value at plus 105. So again, Craig, give me the Kings here, puck line plus 105. I think they absolutely throttle right through Montreal in tonight's matchup.
Well, it's good you guys left me the Boston game, because that was the one I was looking at. Nick, talk me off of Boston here. I know they played last night, but these teams just played. Boston won. They played earlier this I think it was in January. It was 2-1. So if I take the plus 1.5, I feel pretty safe, and then maybe sprinkle a little, maybe I do, like, if you want to put 200 on the plus 1.5 and then like $50 on the sprinkle on the money line Boston Bruins. I think they can win this game, but at worst, I think this is another close game. I mean, these two are, old rivals. Am I crazy here? Is it just because Rangers haven't played for a few days, so they definitely have the rest advantage. But are you I know Boston hasn't been good. Do they have a shot here?
I would lean more towards this New York Rangers team getting it done, just because when Boston does win on back-to-back games leading up to their second game here, when they win by more than 2 goals, they have not won a game following that back-to-back game all season long. So I would not put my money here on the Boston Bruins tonight. I would be on the Rangers, even on that puck line, with better value in that one.
All right, so you shot me down. Shot me down.
Sorry about
That's like,
that.
it's like we're out at the bar. You go over and ask the girl, and then she's like, "See ya." but I don't know. I just feel like in hockey, and I'm not the hockey like guru like as much as Nick is, but as a bettor I am. And it's like, I think it's the same in the NBA. People give on the back-to-back way too much, it's just it goes the opposite way. You get way too much betting action on a team that's rested in the NBA. Same in the NHL. People just think, and it's more so in the NHL. These guys don't play nearly as many minutes as they do in the NBA. So it's like, now it's more physical, so that there is a factor there. But it's not like these teams play in the NBA. I mean, these guys play 37 minutes, travel, and then turn around and play 37, 38 minutes the next night. I mean, that is a little tougher. But I think, and that's just my on the betting soapbox, I think teams with rest get way too much edge. Not saying I don't bet them at times, but it's usually when I bet those teams, it's like the third game in 4 nights type of thing. I like that more than I do just saying, hey, they're in a back-to-back spot. I think that is more of an angle for me as a bettor and a handicapper. Okay, let's do a recap real quick here. Don't forget, get that free $60 account, DocSports.com/free60. So we like all these free plays. We're going to bet some of these free plays as well, but our ones that we go big on, and we suggest our people that our buyers go heavy on, are our expert picks. We got Nick. You have 1 7-unit play right tonight.
Yep.
And Griffin has 2 7-unit plays tonight. I don't have any 6 or 7-unit plays, just a 5-unit play in college hoops. But those are ones you can get on, and you can get those DocSports.com/free60. Or if you're an existing customer, go over there and you go to the grid and you can get in on them. $30 for the individual picks or the individual day passes, or $99 for a week of any of the sports actions. So make sure you check us out. And then don't forget, check us out 1 o'clock every day. Tomorrow, we're going to have Robert Ferrigno on, plus us 3. We're going to be talking all things Super Bowl.
Always rolling.
So, yeah, we're going to be talking, we're still going to give out. So don't worry. We're still going to give out some daily stuff, NBA, college basketball, NHL, but it's just going to be rapid fire real quick, not a whole lot of commentary, so that we can get to all the Super Bowl stuff and still keep it within that 30 to 35 minutes. So make sure you check us out and like and subscribe while you're here. And we will see you again tomorrow That's Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Good luck.